Assalamu alaikum. The topic for today's lecture discussion is biochemical reactions of amino acids in the body. Before I start the different aspects of their metabolism, let me share one thing. I'm sure everybody might be knowing that after the protein we take in our diet, it is degraded into different amino acids, di or tripeptides in the GIT. Free amino acids, which are produced by the process of digestion in GIT, they are directly absorbed by sodium-linked secondary transport system and transported to the enterocytes, inside the enterocytes, while the di and tripeptides taken up by hydrogen-linked transport system. These peptides, di or tripeptides, they are then hydrolyzed in the cytosol to cytosol of the enterocytes into amino acids. These amino acids then released into the portal circulation. From there, all the essential amino acids, all the amino acids which are being absorbed into the portal circulation, that will enter, all those will enter the liver, with an exception of 3 amino acids, which are branched chain amino acids: leucine, isoleucine, and valine. They bypass the liver and enter the general circulation. Their metabolism starts in the muscles. So every amino acid being absorbed by the enterocytes or degraded into individual amino acids, it is released into the portal circulation, and from there a branched chain amino acid move to the general circulation, while rest of the amino acids, they move to the liver for their metabolism. So this is the whole story when the amino acids, the building blocks of the proteins, they are being absorbed and they are being shed into the circulation. Then their metabolism starts. Their metabolism these 7 terms: transamination, deamination, deamidation. These 3 terms, very important terms, they are related with the removal of amino group. Transamination, movement of amino group from one to another form. Deamidation, removal, deamidation. Transpeptidation, transmethylation, decarboxylation, and interconversion of amino acids. These are the all possible mechanisms of reactions which take place on the different amino acids in our body. We will discuss all these one by one. Now first, the very first step, the mandatory step in all the amino acid metabolism is the removal of nitrogen from amino acid. This amino group must be removed before the metabolism of individual amino acid starts. The presence of alpha amino groups keeps amino acids safety locked. This is alpha carbon. This is carboxylic group attached, amino group. This is R group, hydrogen. So removal of this amino group is mandatory when the metabolism of individual amino acid starts. All you can prepare these topics from Lippincott. Most of the slides I have taken, these are from Lippincott. So once this amino group is removed, this nitrogen can be incorporated into other compounds or excreted. with the carbon skeleton being metabolized. So if amino group you remove, the remaining structure will be keto acid. This amino group is being shared to another keto acid or utilized or maybe excreted in the form of urea from the body. The reaction ultimately provide ammonia and aspartate, the two sources of urea nitrogen. By this mechanism, removal of amino group, either we get free ammonia or that ammonia in the form of aspartate. Aspartate, these two groups, free ammonia and aspartate, actually they are the amino group donors in urea cycle. Now we discuss all those possible chemical reactions, biochemical reactions regarding amino acid metabolism one by one. First, transamination or transamination. That is the funneling of amino groups to glutamate. Transfer of alpha amino group of amino acid to alpha ketoglutarate. Alpha ketoglutarate is almost always a amino group acceptor. So it plays a pivotal role in amino acid metabolism. So the acceptor of amino group is always alpha ketoglutarate, and when this receives amino group, it is converted into a glutamate. The product are produced, the amino acid which is donating amino group, that becomes keto acid, and the receiving end is alpha ketoglutarate, that becomes glutamate. Glutamate produced can be oxidatively deaminated or used as an amino group donor in the synthesis of non-essential amino acids, because by having essential amino acid in our diet, all these essential amino acids are further, they are metabolized to produce non-essential amino acids which are also 10. So the amino group donor is glutamate and amino group recipient is alpha ketoglutarate. Now we discuss the mechanism of transamination. The first step in the catabolism of most amino acids is the transfer of their alpha amino group to alpha ketoglutarate. This is amino acid, example. This is alpha ketoglutarate, a 5-carbon membered structure. What happens? This amino group is donated and receiving compound is alpha ketoglutarate. After receiving amino group, this alpha ketoglutarate, it becomes glutamate, and after donating amino group, this amino acid becomes alpha keto acid. All amino acids participate in transamination except, this is important to remember, except lysine, threonine and proline. They don't go through the process of transamination. They donate or they release their amino group by deamination. By deamination, removal of amino group from those amino acids. Now, this transfer of amino groups from one carbon skeleton to another is catalyzed by a family of enzymes called aminotransferase. Amino transfer, the enzyme will be ASEs, aminotransferases. These enzymes are found in the cytosol and mitochondria of the cells throughout the body. especially those of the liver, kidney, intestine, and muscle. The two most important aminotransferases reactions are catalyzed by ALT, alanine transaminase, and AST, aspartate transaminase. These two enzymes have got a great clinical significance. I'll tell you later. Now, reactions catalyzed during amino acid catabolism. Vitamin B6 pyridoxal phosphate is always a coenzyme in these reactions. Vitamin B6 acts as a coenzyme for all aminotransferases. The reactions are readily reversible. You can see they are all readily reversible. This is an example of ALT. This is an example of aspartate transaminase. Now what happens? Here in this case, ALT, alanine aminotransferase. What happens? Alanine is the donor of amino group. After donating amino group, it becomes pyruvate. And the recipient is alpha ketoglutarate. After receiving the amino group, the alpha ketoglutarate becomes glutamate. And this is the general reactions of all the aminotransferases, generally, with the exception of this AST I tell you later. So all aminotransferases, their tendency is to convert alpha ketoglutarate to glutamate. Is it clear? Now this is the action of alanine aminotransferase. Next, the second important, clinically important enzyme, aspartate aminotransferase. Its function is, in contrast to all other aminotransferases, its tendency is to form alpha ketoglutarate from glutamate. Their tendency is to form glutamate from alpha ketoglutarate. So this is the main difference between the AST and all other aminotransferases. So here what happened? Glutamate can be converted into alpha ketoglutarate, that is alpha keto acid, only when glutamate shares or donates its amino group. And here, in the presence of this enzyme, the amino group recipient is oxaloacetate. After receiving amino group, oxaloacetate is converted into aspartate, that is amino acid, aspartic acid. Now this is the aspartate which then donates its amino group in the urea cycle. So glutamate and aspartate, they're all the amino group donors in the urea cycle. Mechanism of action of aminotransferases. All aminotransferases require coenzyme pyridoxal phosphate, remember, which is covalently linked to the amino group of a specific lysine residue at the active site of the enzyme. It combines with the enzyme at this site, lysine residue. What happens? Now, in this mechanism, aminotransferase activity, what is going to happen? Glutamate has to be converted into alpha ketoglutarate. What will happen? Pyridoxal phosphate it receives first the amino group of glutamate, and itself it is converted into this pyridoxamine phosphate. So instead of directly donating amino group to oxaloacetate, it is first picked up by vitamin B6 that is converted into pyridoxamine phosphate, and this pyridoxine phosphate is now in a position to donate its amino group to oxaloacetate, and oxaloacetate, it after receiving the amino group from pyridoxamine phosphate, it becomes aspartate. So this is how the amino group of glutamate is being shared with oxaloacetate via pyridoxal phosphate vitamin B6. Now, diagnostic value of transaminases, liver diseases, it's very important. Plasma AST and ALT are elevated in nearly all liver diseases, but are particularly high in the conditions that cause extensive cell necrosis. ALT is more specific than AST for liver diseases, as the AST beside the liver, it is also present some other like muscles, kidney, testes, like other tissues. So when ALT is raised, it always points towards some serious, some damage, some disease of the liver. While AST, it is non-specific, because the high level of AST in the blood, it does not specifically tells about the disease of liver. It may be the disease of the muscle, it may be the disease of the kidney, or any other disease. So when ALT is raised, it always points toward the liver diseases, and when AST, it is non-specific as far as the liver diseases are concerned. ALT is specific, but AST is sensitive, because the overall quantity of AST in our body, in the hepatocytes and other cells of the systems, it is so extensively present. So immediately the sensitivity of any infection is delivered by AST. So immediately after that, AST level will rise. So we can say in one sentence that ALT is specific enzyme for liver diseases, while AST is a sensitive enzyme for the diseases of the liver and for other diseases. So diagnostic value of transaminases regarding liver diseases is related with the AST and ALT, and for non-hepatic diseases, aminotransferases may be elevated in non-hepatic diseases such as myocardial infarction and muscle disorders. So this is the diagnostic importance of. Thank you very much for today's lecture. Inshallah, we will discuss the remaining biochemical reactions of different amino acids, and we also discuss deamination in detail, and how ammonia, which is highly toxic, how it is transported to the liver to be converted into urea. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay blessed.